Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday. It's not Monday at all, it's Thursday the 23rd of the 3rd. What the hell am I thinking? It feels like a Monday. Anyway, on that bright start, let's just look at the events coming out today. Well, we saw the FOMC yesterday, just to cover that. There was a mixture of I was just saying, there's very short memories in terms of the FOMC. There was an expectation that rates would be cut by the end of the year, but now there's an expectation that rates were going to be somewhere more similar. They may be cut slightly, but there was a bigger expectation for things to be coming down than there was. However, and initially there was only another probably one or two increases, and we've just seen one of them. And they're talking about a second one, but it's a slightly more dovish than previous comments. Although in between all of that, there was more hawkish comments. So anyway, did I get that out the right way? Let's look at what's coming out today then. So we've got the Swiss National Bank at 8:30. We've got the Bank of England, so we steer clear of the pound pairs today. That's at 12 o'clock. Expected a 0.25% increase, and the voting will be the bigger thing here. Expected to stay the same as last, 702. But that's pretty much that in terms of unemployment claims. US, it's the weekly one. While they show it as a high impact here, it has relatively modest impact. Okay, that's it for today. Let's just look and see if there's any other speakers. We are on the 23rd, aren't we? So yep, there's ECB Lane. Actually, has this rolled up a little bit? It has. We do have some Bank of England. Well, they're speaking. Bank of England speaker at 10 o'clock. Before can't be speaking about anything important. ECB not speaking there at 11. Okay, that's it. So not that many expected speakers at the moment. So let's have a look at the markets, and we'll start off with the euro dollar. Now, I'll say at the start, there aren't a lot of setups at the moment because they've already moved so far, for me anyway. But that doesn't mean to say give it an hour or so we won't see something. But obviously, at this stage, we'll look at what's happening, and at least the euro then has continued its march to the upside. In other words, very soft dollar, well, softer dollar. Euro pushing up at the moment, and well, you can see on the this is an hourly chart with a daily pivot there. It's already into its R1. Now it hasn't touched its daily pivot. Why the euro's flying quite so far? Got to question a little bit, but I guess there's a bit of disappointment built up with the US dollar, and the euro's benefiting at the moment. I would question whether this will pull back, and there's a chance it will pull back to the pivot, but really in this market, let's not be top hunting, let's be looking for retracement. So perhaps if it gets back to its pivot, I'll look at another trade to the upside, but for now, that's what it's doing. Pound dollar, again, still pushing up here. We've had the higher lows on the dailies, that big chunk, and slightly smaller retracement here, which is suggesting this week, which is suggesting a little bit more solid maybe. However, again, we're seeing this reversal bar double top on the pound at the moment, and it might just be worth waiting for it to retrace if we do look for the longs. Again though, this might be getting ahead of itself, and of course we got the news out later. Dollar yen again looking like it's continuing its route, double bottomed here instead of double topped, hit the pivot, so it's pretty much done everything I would look for. Generally I'm looking for I mean, this is where I'd be liking to be trading at 1 o'clock this morning or 2 o'clock this morning, but it's gone, and actually for the daily pivot, it hasn't hit the daily pivot, beg pardon. I was looking at the weekly. It could be pushing back up towards that, but again, do I really want to be going against what was the bigger trend, although there was a sub-trend upside there pre-yesterday's announcement? But I don't really want to go against what I expected to happen effectively. We're slightly weakening of the dollar. Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar is continuing in this sort of really weird flag. I mean, just look at the candles. Sometimes when you look at price action, you ignore the sort of individual candles and what's happening here, and you just see how they're just really just lapping both sides. It's a real whippy old picture, and you come down to the 4-hour, you see it a little bit clearer. Just whipping so far up. It's a real sort of uncertain market effectively. And when I see this on an upside track and it's pulling back so quickly, there could be a chance that at some point it rolls over. And again, this morning at the moment looking a little bit softer as I'm speaking. These are probably all going to roll over today, and I'm going to miss them because I don't want to trade against the direction of the trend, but I'd rather be trading on the safe side. Talking of trends and things though, the Canadian dollar, this is one that might roll over. Been looking at this for a number of days. The original pattern is a bit of a Gartley going on. It started failing from that. I'm not worried about the fact it was a Gartley. It's just it looks exhausted in terms of what it was doing, and we're seeing this sort of dollar weakness. I'm looking for a break of these lows effectively to see if we get a continuation to the downside. It has gone a bit ugly towards the middle of the week here. Quite a sort of retrace yesterday there, and it pushed back up, but then only to move back off again. I've got to be patient on this because although it's showing a down bar here, at the moment it could just turn back up. Everything else we're seeing dollar strength just nibbling through there, so I'd be wary of this. So I am looking at the potential on the bigger time frames more so of the sell-off here. Now it may just need to break the lows there and close below the low, but it would be more of a swing position, maybe a bit more movement down towards these prior lows. So I am looking at that and considering that. New Zealand dollar is pretty much the same as the Aussie. There's no real need to do that. Some of the cross pairs, my favourite cross pairs, even these are a bit in the road to nowhere at the moment. Now these could develop. When I say they're there at the moment, they could develop. It's choppy going back. For most of yesterday, it was early yesterday. It'd been chopping through there, pushed up a little bit. It's not really going anywhere massively. So you've got the cross pairs. Take the US dollar out of the equation, and things are a bit quieter out there. Euro Aussie, we caught this yesterday for the long side. Basically a bull flag that we took. It shaped up again at the moment in terms of sort of another flag, but there's possibly the better opportunity if it arises. So, and Euro CAD yesterday, I was looking at Euro CAD. Euro CAD was going too early, but it'd already gone too far. But it did everything in the end and pushed up there. At the moment, it's between a rock and a hard place. It's a retracement back to the pivot. Might give me another opportunity on the buy side. Pound pairs I should leave alone this morning. At the moment it's only looking like the Euro Aussie is looking like one of the better alternatives at the moment. The rest of the market's looking quite thin there. Okay, let's quickly skip through the other markets here. Gold, just look at these high level. Now gold again has sort of been rebought here. It's seen a rebound effectively of it, sort of where it was heading yesterday. It's looking quite weak until the news came out, but it is trying its best to get somewhere there. I'm not. I think we'll probably see more. The more uncertainty, the more chance we've got of seeing more upside. But it might not be the easiest one to get into unless you just buy it, of course. Looking at the oil markets then, it's just come down the oil market here yesterday. It was looking quite well, didn't quite make the rest of that flag. It took off and off it went, and it's just recapturing again. A weaker dollar normally sees a stronger oil price, and that's what we're just seeing at the moment. This could be short-lived. If we see oil tipping over this morning, we could see this price action tipping over still as well. So I'm not holding my breath on that one. Quick look then, these Asian markets. CSI 300 catching a bounce then. Again, it's still in a bearish mode at this stage. Low highs, lower lows, no real change there. One day doesn't make a change of markets or a rally. The Nikkei still ugly, no change. Nifty 50 still bearish to me. I'd be looking at probably, if it, I was looking for a bigger retrace on this, and I'd look to put a little position short on it, but at the moment it's actually picked up today. May just continue through a little bit, but it's either that or wait for the break of the lows, but I'd rather something a little bit more to sell into. S&Ps, sorry, morning Ian, Christina, morning. S&Ps, that's all I can say. Yesterday didn't really like the news too much, whilst everyone else was seeing the rally sort of side of things. It really didn't, hasn't done too much at all here. This is almost looking like a bear flag sort of developing in its own little world. We'll see how things develop, but that does look, I know we've been seeing this sort of move to the upside, but it's been an ugly move to the upside here in what is effectively still a downtrend. Again, really overlapping, horrible markets. If you can catch on, again, another horrible market at the moment. Yesterday we saw the selling. It's just for a belief that the US dollar is going to weaken and everything else. It didn't really do too much to the equity markets, did it? It's actually sport the equity markets just as easily fallen off at the moment. And again, in this sort of short-term view here, I'm looking at the Dow, etc. They're all looking like they've got a short-term bear flag at least. Okay, I should look at the Nasdaq very quickly from the upper time frames here. Double topped on the Nasdaq here. It had its reaction. Maybe I don't know what it does that. Maybe it'll push back up there, but if the other markets roll, this might just roll with it. The DAX does seem to do a little bit better on a weaker dollar. Okay, the DAX, did I say? Then Nasdaq, beg your pardon. The DAX at the moment, it's already bit of a mixed bag here on the shorter time frames. Just looking here, flaggy, sort of messy. Maybe it's going to push up there a little bit more solidly afterwards, but coming back, looking at the bigger picture on it, it's run into the underside of the 50 MA, had a reaction off that. Again, pushing up at the moment. It might just get up there and get a bit more legs to it. It's just been one of those markets that I largely would steer clear. I mean, it's had this sort of this downward price action over the last week or so, but it's again, look at the bars. They're overlapping one another almost. Not an easy route to be taken. There's not a simple trend there. Okay, finally the FTSE, bit of a bounce off the pivot there on the monthly pivot. It's bounced off of. It looks like it's sort of an end of a trend, effectively. Low highs, low lows, we're running down there. It's broken through this area here. Maybe there is a little bit of cheer to come, but it's not convincing really over the last couple of day and what we got of today so far. Yeah, not massively convinced on that. Right, quick look at the cryptos. Morning, guys. Sorry, crypto market. Quick look at this. Bitcoin enjoyed yesterday to a degree. Then it sold off. What happened there then? I was obviously looking. Enjoyed yesterday, then sold off. It was enjoying yesterday when I looked at it earlier on. Sold off quite strongly there. Again, it's a bit like the equity markets here in terms of this pattern, in terms of looking like it could roll back again. Not looking overly convincing. Perhaps they realised that news on the dollar wasn't that weak in real terms. Just a bit more guarded, maybe. So Bitcoin there. Ethereum done exactly the same there. I know Ripple, I was looking at Ripple actually for someone last night, was that retraced all its previous day's gains there, or most of them, 2/3 of them. So still looking a bit iffy, but this they have the chance of pushing on upwards. They're not written off yet, and they're not into a bearish zone. They've got the higher lows coming through these markets. Maybe they'll hold, but it just shows you how fickle they can be. Anyway, on that note, I'll catch you in the morning. Any chance to reach 72? I assume you're asking me, is there any chance of oil reaching $72? Yeah, there's a lot of chance of that. Then again, might be next year or the year after. I don't know. All I can tell you what oil's doing at the moment. What's oil doing at the moment? It says got the wrong. Let's just get the right one for you. What's oil doing at the moment? It's going down. So of course we want to buy it. Okay, 72 is not that far away, and it is the underside. So yeah, it could just as easily reach 72. It depends on which market you're looking at. This is the price I've got on here from Pepperstone. It's probably different to the price that you're looking at, but if your 72 is the underside here, yeah, maybe it could come up there, but I wouldn't be looking to buy it for 72 personally, because I wouldn't look to be buying it in a downward trend. But that's where we differ all. Anyway, on that note, I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.